And from the war in Gaza to the war in Ukraine, Russia has claimed complete control over the eastern Ukrainian city of Avdiivka. The fall of Avdiivka is the biggest gain for Russia since capturing Bakhmut just last May, and it comes just days ahead of the 2-year mark since this war began.
Units of the center group of troops, under the command of Colonel General Andrei Mordevichev, took full control of the city of Avdiivka of the Donetsk People's Republic, which was a powerful defensive hub of the Ukrainian armed forces. As a result of offensive action, an area of about 32 square kilometers was liberated from the Ukrainian nationalists.
Russia had stepped up efforts to capture the eastern industrial hub in October, and Russian forces launched multiple attacks from the west of Avdiivka in an all-out assault to capture the city. The intense fighting left Avdiivka devastated and inflicted many casualties. The victory now gives Russia full control of the area surrounding Donetsk, and some Ukrainian troops were reportedly holed up in a vast Soviet-era coke plant, one of Europe's biggest. Russia says its forces have taken full control of the plant, and Ukraine's 3rd Assault Brigade said Russian warplanes were dropping 60 bombs a day, relentlessly shelling the area near the Avdiivka coke plant and launching numerous waves of ground assaults. Video showed dense black smoke over the factory, said to be caused by burning fuel oil reservoirs. Russian media reported the Kremlin's forces were making extensive use of plane-launched glide bombs which fly at a shallow angle to batter Ukrainian positions. Russian President Vladimir Putin congratulated the military on what he said was an important victory. Now Avdiivka has endured nearly a decade of conflict, and the capture holds particular symbolism for Russia as it was briefly taken in 2014 by Moscow-backed separatists but was recaptured by Ukrainian troops. Russia says its troops were now pressing forward after the urban battle. The victory for the Russian troops came after a retreat by Ukrainian soldiers. Ukraine said it had withdrawn its soldiers to save troops from being fully surrounded. Kyiv's forces had struggled on the front line around Avdiivka in recent months due to both ammunition and personnel shortages. Dwindling ammunition has put Ukraine's hold on the front line in jeopardy. Ukrainian commanders and heads of artillery units say shortages, which have plagued the troops since the beginning of the Russian invasion, grew particularly acute last fall. They say Russia is capitalizing on Ukraine's ammunition shortage. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky warned allies that an artificial deficit of arms for his country risks giving Russia massive breathing space. Zelensky also highlighted the need for artillery and long-range weapons.
We can get our land back, and Putin can lose. And this has already happened more than once on the battlefield. Our actions are limited only by the sufficiency and length of the range of our strengths. But what does not depend on us? And Avdiivka situation proves this exactly. Dear friends, unfortunately, keeping Ukraine in the artificial deficit of weapons, particularly in deficit of artillery and long-range capabilities, allows Putin to adapt to the current intensity of the war.
The Biden administration linked the fall of Avdiivka to congressional inaction on the $60 billion in military aid to Ukraine. Speaking to the Ukrainian president over the weekend, U.S. President Joe Biden said he remained confident that U.S. funding would eventually come through. Of course, the nagging question is, when? From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
We're beating Biden.
How dare he say that?
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill, we know the issues, But above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that we're covering. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on Firstpost America.